I was tired of being treated like a little political pawn. I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. I have to change my self-confidence. No, because...
And I quote, "I no longer live with or wish to be related to my biological father."
You know what's funny is when that court document got doxed.
Vivian, until recently, you spoke more or less through your social media.
Yeah.
Now you are communicating with a broader audience.
Mm-hmm.
How come?
I don't really have a reason, I guess, just because I've been given this opportunity to speak on larger platforms, and I just feel like I should take them because, you know, why not? Not many people are like this blessed enough to be able to receive platforms like this, and I feel like I should be taking advantage of it to speak on issues that I guess are important to me, and also just talk about things and life and whatnots. And I love that. That's great, yes.
You had your debut at the New York Fashion Week last September.
I did.
Also, you recently modeled for Rihanna's Valentine's Day
Yes,
Dessous collection.
Savage Fancy.
Amazing. And you are an activist with a huge following.
I guess, yeah.
And yet some people kind of still look at you as Elon Musk's trans-daughter or
Yeah.
something. Like, how does that feel?
I get asked this question a lot, and my answer is usually the same, which is like, it is how it is. So it's fine, I guess. I mean, I don't like it. I'd like to be known for other things, but like, I mean, I understand why.
Gotcha.
So I get it. It's kind of just, it is what it is. You gotta just have to move on. So, yeah.
You once said that you spent most of your childhood as part of, I thought a great term, the aristocracy. In this,
People got mad in the comments of that video because you're like, you're not actually from the aristocracy. You're not like, what's your aristocracy? And I was like, okay, it was a joke.
Well, but you described this like Bel Air mansion, and
Yeah.
I was wondering, can you
was
describe
wild.
what that was like?
It was there's just this like excessive sense of like opulence in those kinds of homes where everything is expensive just for the point of being expensive. There's not really rhyme or reason behind it. It's just like, it's kind of cold in terms of atmosphere. That's like the biggest thing I remember, I guess.
You once said that you meet most of your friends online.
I did.
Or you did meet most of your friends online. What do these digital friends mean to you? How important are they?
Yeah, they've been very important in helping me like discover who I was. They were like my closest community for a while because I was kind of all over the place. But yeah, they really kind of like molded me into the person I am now. So I'm very thankful for that.
And what were kind of like the digital spaces where you would meet them? Like, how do you make a friend online?
I would go to Drag Race fan Discord servers, and I would hang out with other like queer teenagers on those like little chat rooms. They were fun. Yeah, It was a chill time.
In 2020,
Yes.
you came out as trans.
Yeah, I guess it was 2020, was it? That was 5 years ago. 4 years ago?
Almost 6 years ago.
Oh my God, it's 2026.
Yeah, it's been
Jesus
a while,
fucking
eh?
Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has been a while.
Would you share with us how that was for you? And
Sure. I came out on my Instagram story. Probably not the way I would have done it in hindsight, but I mean, it worked at the time, and it was like online, so.
and how did you do it?
Online. Literally just posted to my Instagram story, I'm trans, Lamau. And I posted this thing because I was like, I wanted something, because if you're like coming out, people, you get these like long messages, and I wanted to skip the awkwardness, so I also posted like, it was like talking about the Hunger Games in the literal same Instagram post to try and give something else to like steer the topic away, which didn't work, obviously. But yeah, it was literally just like a picture. It was like a busted selfie. Not like busted, but like one of those like Gen Z type kind of like camera close to the phone, camera close to the face kind of selfies with just that over it.
And I reckon the years leading up to this coming out must have been hard, no?
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Can you describe, if you feel like sharing it?
Being trans as a teenager is kind of like living in a horror movie, or like a body horror movie, because it's just this like agonizing feeling of not being able to escape your own body. It sucks. Like, it's bad. It was rough, but we're over that now, so I guess.
Very good.
Yeah.
In the petition to change your first and last name, you stated, I know, and I quote, I no longer live with or wish to be related to my biological father in any way, shape, or form.
You know what's funny is when that court document got doxxed, I noticed a grammatical error I made in the little 2-sentence blurb that I made. Because I didn't think anyone would find it, because it was like a court document, right? Obviously, I was proven wrong, but there's like a comma that I put, I don't remember if it's like an extra comma or like one that I was supposed to put in there. I made a grammatical mistake, and that stayed with me for like 3-4 years.
That's the aspiring linguist talking, no?
I'm supposed to be better than that. But what was the question?
The content of what you wrote there is pretty strong, and it sounds like it comes also from a point of pain, no?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Pretty much, I guess.
Can you describe kind of your thought process that led up to this?
My thought process of, well, I mean, you know, well, I mean, I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. It was true. I don't know really what to add to it other than just the kind of, like, thought process. It was what I needed, I guess.
And it had been built up over years, it sounded like.
My entire life, I guess. So, yeah.
And then it became public.
Yeah.
And it became a big issue. How was that for you?
Kind of a nightmare originally. Low-key. I didn't like leave my house for 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah. Now I don't care. But I mean, at the time I was like, hadn't even graduated high school, and I was like, I cannot deal with this.
With what exactly?
I don't know, the public facing. I was like, at the time I wanted to live like, you know, I wanted to like go to fucking college. I didn't really have plans to be a whatever the fuck leaked court document person. So it was kind of like I was struggling to deal with that, I guess.
And in an interview at the time, Musk responded publicly by saying that he feels that his son has died of the woke mind virus. I mean, how did that feel at the time?
I woke up to, like, I remember a text message from my aunt being like, telling me like what the fuck happened. So, cause it was a different time zone. But yeah, I remember waking up and just being like, not this shit again. So at that point, I had kind of like had enough and was like, I don't want to be used as just this like political pawn or like this character motivation behind or like a justification for someone's bigotry. That's not cool. So I was also pissed the fuck off, low-key. But yeah, I was texting my mom being like, I'm gonna go public, sorry. And she was like, okay, I understand. And
she is understanding of these things when you do
yeah,
that?
she gets it. And I remember I was texting with my friend, Reese, and she was like angrier than I was about the situation, I guess because I was used to it. So seeing like that also really helped me, I guess, formulate my little response. But like, I didn't want to say anything like immediately, so I took like, I don't know, I want to say a day to just like myself, to just collect myself. I played a lot of Smash Brothers that day.
Good
Low
game.
key.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was practicing my combos with Robin.
Your father's ex-partner Grimes describes Musk as being heartbroken during these years. Do you have empathy for
No.
that pain? No?
No, fuck him. I don't care.
Okay. No.
I'm sorry, am I supposed to feel bad for him? Oh, girl.
But you had spoken about the fact that you and Griffin were conceived through selective in vitro fertilization, and that you think, in the eyes of Elon Musk, your identity as a trans woman makes you, and I quote, not the product being sold to him at the time. From an outsider's perspective, that seems like a hurtful thought to have about oneself.
Oh, I guess. I don't know. Is it a hurtful thought to have about oneself? I mean, I don't judge myself in the eyes of someone else, so I don't really care. But I mean, I do care. Like her, I guess it was like, I mean, whatever. I don't really have an answer, I guess. I don't really judge myself in the eyes of other people.
Elon Musk has embraced, and you've spoken about this prior to this interview as well, about the pro-natalist movement, which argues that declining birth rates threaten our societies, and that's why he wants people, especially wealthy people, to make more babies, essentially. What's your take on this?
Kim, there's people that are dying. Like, really? Like, this is the thing? This is like, it's also intersected with, because it's not specifically people have children. He wants white people to have more children, which it's so tiring. It's like this intersection of like, because it is like a race thing, I think, where allegedly, whatever, don't fucking sue me. I don't care. Or do. See you in court, whatever.
The political wind has changed a lot in the last year. Yeah. It also turned against trans people a lot. 2 years ago, and also when the time when you came out, it seemed to be a powerful movement, especially here in California. How is the situation now? And what are your fears?
Well, I mean, the opportune window has continuously shifted towards the right, especially in the States. In LA, I have not noticed that much of a change, but in my personal circle, like in the circles that I attend, it's pretty much only queer people, and obviously queer people are not having the same demographic shifts towards the right as the general population because the right is so hell-bent on fucking us over. Thanks for that, bitch. But yeah, no, it's not great. It kind of just feels, it's this like sound just continuously playing in the background of like, how bad is this gonna get? How much worse is this gonna get?
But you're plugged into the national discourse. You read the news and you're very
yeah.
vocal about this. And it's obviously there's LA is kind of like a sort of liberal island.
Yes.
And then there's the country as a whole where
Yes.
states are changing their laws. The federal government is pushing for certain policies. Like what's kind of the trajectory that you see this country on?
Well, it's currently not a great one. I hope we can do something about that in the elections, but we just need to keep advocating for our rights. It's very depressing, I'm not gonna lie. It does kind of get to you that a lot of the country just hates you so viscerally just because of like who you are. There's also these like continuous new myths about us, like that we're all fucking shooters or inherently violent. That's another one I've heard more recently, which I find kind of insane and ridiculous. I've said this before, which is like, I don't own a fucking gun. I am not here to hurt anyone. I am here to be myself. What the fuck? I'm not fucking doing anything to you. Leave me the fuck alone.
Elon Musk's political radicalization, and it is a radicalization over the last few years, through his daughter coming out as trans and being very critical of capitalism, being a lefty, and cutting ties to him, as we discussed. Do you think there's any truth in that he
No.
became more radical because of any of this?
No, I don't. I really don't.
So why then? Like, what made him?
I think he's just always kind of been like that.
Okay,
I
you've
mean-
experienced him like that.
Yeah. And like, I shouldn't say that. Well, I mean, no, I think there is this like illusion that he was like, I don't know, progressive, and I just don't think that was ever true, to be honest. Like, but yeah, no, I don't think it's because, I really don't think it's because of me. Like, those kinds of circles, the ultra tech bro circles, they're very conservative. They're very, how do I say stockily? I'm just gonna say they're very racist, low key. So
Maybe on a lighter note.
please, for the love of
Probably
God.
on a lighter note. You're really into drag.
I am.
What is it that fascinates you about it?
I don't know. I like the my favorite part of drag is the staging. I just like coming up with like stage concepts of how everything's gonna work. Like, but I have a little After Effects subscription, so I make the videos in the background, and I think that's probably my favorite part. I do drag.
But you make it for other people, or you make it for?
Oh, I do it for myself.
Okay,
Me and my
cool.
friend do it just because I don't know, it's something we like.
Oh.
It's just a fun little hobby, I guess. So I'm very blessed to be able to do that. I like it a lot. Yeah, it's just the kind of performance and costuming of it all. The extra-ness is something I tend to gravitate towards in general. So
And it seems to be connected to modeling too. It's kind of a...
yeah, there's some skill sets that have transferred over, especially like stage presence, which I've had to get good at very fast. So yeah, that has definitely helped me, I think. But it's just like something fun I do.
But do you also do it yourself?
What do you mean?
Like, are you also in drag?
Yeah.
Like, oh, cool. So who's your character?
Oh, I just go by the name Vivlinus,
Uh-huh.
which is like my social media handle.
Uh-huh.
I was like, I don't know about the name. And then I posted on my Instagram story like a poll of should I change it? And everyone was like, no. So, but yeah, I like to do the whole femboy drag king thing because I think it's fun to just completely like break all sense of gender roles like that. I don't know. I kind of like it. It's fun. It's great. I love the drag community as well. They've been super welcoming, especially in Los Angeles. I very much appreciate it.
Do you feel like there is a crisis of masculinity in this country? Because there's studies that say, being kind of stuck between sports betting, really hardcore online pornography, and loneliness, sometimes also economic problems that people face, that it really creates kind of a crisis of masculinity. Is that something that you encounter, that you
What do you
see?
mean like a crisis of like masculinity? Like people feeling like there is so much societal pressure to be masculine, I guess, but I don't think that the way to go about that is to then inflict that kind of trauma onto, or not trauma, is to kind of like inflict that kind of belief system onto other people. I remember I was like judged really, really harshly for being feminine for my entire childhood.
By who?
By everyone.
Okay.
I mean, well, yes, but.
But what kind of men?
Sorry.
What kind of men diss boys or girls that are feminine or masculine? Like, does that come from a place of insecurity? Like, who are the men that diss other people for being too feminine, too masculine, too neutral, too whatever?
Usually ones who are insecure about their own masculinity or think that they should be living up to this societal standard that doesn't need to exist. There is this like, also social media has been a big part of this because there's this thing called the alt-right pipeline where in order to get, controversy gets clicks. So naturally things on the alt-right, tend to get more engagement and that kind of radicalization, the gradual radicalization has had a big effect politically, especially on young men in this country. There's this idolization of what like epitome of masculinization is, and these people look up to these people because they think, oh, that's a real man, which I find fucking stupid. Society does put masculinity and men on this sort of ridiculous pedestal that you either have to live up to or should. And I don't really think that benefits anyone.
Speaking about social media, in Europe and in other countries, there are discussions about regulating the amount of time young people spend on social media. You are this generation that grew up with, you called yourself chronically online at some point?
I do. I don't think I actually am anymore. At least I am. I've been playing video games, which is not much better, but at least.
Do you think there's reason to talk about this, and should there be more regulation?
Should be more regulation. I don't think time on social media needs to be regulated as much as the content that should be allowed to be on social media. Just because it's so easy to spread disinformation, and when there's any sort of pushback against that, at least in the States, people are super quick to quote the First Amendment, which I don't think has the right to apply in that instance, just because the deliberate spread of disinformation or misinformation is genuinely dangerous, especially when we talk about things such as vaccine hesitancy, anti-vax bullshit, I'm going to call that, or this sort of pushback against the very nature of science or scientific studies, or like climate change denialism is another one. I don't think that kind of content should be allowed to be on social media, personally, just because I do think that kind of thing is harmful. And I think that is kind of the regulations that should occur probably first. As for like screen time, I definitely do think screen time is having an effect on younger generations, especially. There's a whole like iPad kid phenomenon. But I think ultimately that's kind of up to the parents too.
What is happiness for you? Do you feel like you have achieved it? You will be able to achieve it? Do you see on yourself on a path to happiness?
I guess it's like happiness is like self-satisfaction and just being with good community is a big part of it. And I definitely have the good community part. And I mean, the ego and self-esteem has been something I historically struggle with, but it's, you know, something that I've been trying to build up more, I guess. I think on camera I can come off as this like super cocky, arrogant person, which is kind of like a projection, I guess. But because everyone's different on camera, obviously, then I probably shouldn't say that, but I mean, it's true. Every celebrity is different off camera than they are on camera. Did I just imply that I'm a celebrity?
Well, it might be true, no?
But I would say I'm pretty happy now. I mean, I'm pretty content with my life. I have a great career. I have great community. And I love LA. It's a great place to live. So I'm pretty happy, I guess.
If we kind of reflect on this interview a little bit, you obviously were somewhat timid to talk about Elon Musk. Why is that?
I don't know. I just don't like talking about him.
Okay, yeah.
It's not my favorite thing to do, I guess. Yeah.
It's probably a no-brainer as a last question.
Okay.
But is there anywhere inside of you like a kind of a longing for peace on that front or for reconciliation or anything?
Oh my God, no. That's not happening. My life is not like a telenovela. Like, that's not how it works. No contact means no contact, but no.
Gotcha. Vivian, thank you so much for your time and for your thoughts and for your openness. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Lovely.